I'm hoping to inspire you this morning to create your most beautiful personal mandala by some flowers that I've picked in my garden. And the idea is not that we're going to necessarily copy the flowers, but we're going to take different shapes, different patterns, different colors, and use those as inspiration for each part of our mandala. In other words, we're going to repeat the shapes and patterns to create our mandala, a balanced mandala. So I'd like you to sit back and just relax, and I'm going to show you some beautiful flowers. And the idea is that you can stop this video at any time and have a look at the different colors and shapes and different nuances, and hopefully find something that inspires you. If you have flowers in your own garden or your own yard, then take a minute and go and pick one or two, and you can use those as your inspiration. Otherwise, you might want to look up some flowers in Google, or you might want to use your imagination and create some flowers out of your imagination. So just for now, have a look at these. So in order to be able to draw, we have to learn how to see, because artists learn to see that little bit more deeply, more clearly than the average person who's not creating. And we want to look at the different shapes of the petals, the striations, the center, and compare our different flowers and what each of them is saying to us, because each flower has a different gesture and has a different feeling to it. And so while you're being inspired, an idea is to take a flower or two, even if it's a picture of a flower, and take about 5 minutes and just gaze into this flower and absorb it. Start to look at the flower with the eyes of the heart and allow the colors to come into your soul, not just your head. And notice all the different nuances, the different shades, the related colors, the darker shades, the lighter shades, and allow the flower to come into your being and literally inspire you to create something new from it. In terms of color mixing and creating these colors, I have got an example here of what I pre-mixed. So first of all, I took the food coloring pre-mixed jars from the first video, and I used these little droppers, and I started to create my different colors in my ice tray. And I came up with, first of all, I had my red, I had my orange, and I had my yellow. I took my orange and I mixed it with yellow. I used equal amounts and I came up with a yellow-orange. I took my orange and I mixed it with red, equal amounts, and I came up with a reddy-orange. And then I used a little bit of blue because I wanted to move towards the maroons and the burgundies. And so you can see that these colors speak to each other. I've chosen warm colors. I just felt like I needed a bit of warmth today. You might decide you want to choose the cooler, peaceful blues, greens. And to create your mandala, you are going to need a pencil and something to draw around, some different size circles. So that's going to be the size of my mandala. And the other materials that I mentioned earlier. So just in terms of breaking up our circle, the idea today, this is not strictly related colors, but it does give you an idea of what we're kind of looking at. So this particular mandala has been broken up into different concentric circles, and then different shaped petals have been used in each circle to create this kind of growing flower idea. One could also take one individual flower, I'm using this basket as my inspiration, and create a mandala breaking up the petals into different colors and different shapes. So that's another idea for a mandala today. And for those of you that have created many mandalas in the past and would like to do something a little different, you might choose an artist such as Georgia O'Keeffe, an American artist who painted the most beautiful flowers, often in related colors. And you could take your flower and create a more organic mandala using one particular flower. So the video is actually the various different concentric circles, but if this speaks to you and that's what you feel like doing today, then that's a wonderful project to get ideas from. And you can use simple flowers where the center of the flower is in the center of the mandala, such as a daisy or a rose, beautiful unfolding petals. Or you can use a flower that blooms in a completely different way. But choose something that speaks to you today. So that gives you some ideas for how to break up your mandala, how to start your mandala. You can start thinking about what gesture you want your mandala to have and which flowers and which colors you'd like to bring into your mandala today. And I'm going to be back here in a minute or two, and we are going to get stuck into creating this mandala.